Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Sick. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Jackson Field in Lansing, Michigan. The Capital City Showdown live on OpenEndedMedia.com. The Holt Rams and the Grand Ledge Comets on a beautiful day in downtown Lansing. I'm Colton Wesley here on the call. We couldn't have asked for a better day for baseball here in April. A little chilly, perhaps, 46 and sunny as we get ready for first pitch with the Grand Ledge Comets and the Holt Rams set to get things underway. The Rams will bat first, wearing their gold helmets, brown shirts, and white pants. Comets in the gold and blue hats, white shirts, white pants. Beautiful day at Jackson Field. I'm Colton Wesley, OpenEndedMedia.com. The Rams will bat first. Starting lineup for them: Luis Martinez, Ethan Parse, Luke Red will be the top of the order. 4-5-6, Jacob Metzger, Julian Edmond, and Caden Jachin. And rounding out the bottom of the order, Jackson Webster, Bryson DeSmith, and Ethan Kaskadin. On the hill for the Comets, Michael Boss, fastball, curveball, slider. The first high school game at Jackson Field this summer. We're going to see the Capital City Classic later this summer between the three city schools, Everett, Eastern, and Sexton. That'll be here late May. Comets and Rams, two teams that were in the Capital Diamond Classic a year ago. They're usually in the Diamond Classic. We expect to see both of them again in that tournament around Memorial Day. We'll have that for you on OpenEndedMedia.com, so if you're looking for that. At the end of May, we will be producing that broadcast for the NFHS Network. As the high school baseball season gets into full gear here. Final warm-up pitches for Michael Boss. As the Grand Ledge Comets coming in at 5-3. They've done well against local schools. They struggled against Midland Dow. That's where two of their three losses came from. They've done well against local opponents. Holt Rams 4-6, trying to right the ship a little bit. 4 freshmen on the varsity team for the Rams this season. A very young, very scrappy team, according to head coach Patrick Kaiser. So in steps Luis Martinez, the shortstop. Has a fist bump for the catcher and the umpire, and we are just about ready to go. The righty will deal to open this one at 5:01. Down and away, ball one. Doubleheader today, 2 7-inning games. And because we've got the lights here, we will complete both of them. Here's the 1-0. That one's in there on the outside corner, 1-1 to Martinez. Here's the 1-1. Off the end of the bat, in the air, shallow right field. Backing up to it is Braden McDaniels at second and puts him away. Defensively for the Comets, Michael Boss pitching to Ashton Costello. In the outfield, left to right, Tyler Terranova, Xavier West, and Brett Baker. On the infield, from left to right, Cooper Parks, Carson Marlin, Braden McDaniels, and Easton Banaski. First pitch to Ethan Parse. In there for a strike at the knees. The 0-1 down and away. Even count to Ethan Parse. Head coach Patrick Kaiser telling me before the game that this Holt lineup has some power at the top of the order. At the bottom, it's going to be more of a small ball approach, but they would love to see some big hits, some doubles, extra base hits, get guys around so the bottom of the order can bring them in. The 2-1. Hit softly, right side of the infield, fielded at first. The throw to Metzger, or to Boss rather, who's covering, makes the play. 3-2 ground out. 2 away for the Rams. In steps Luke Red. The lefty batting .680 coming into today. A big bat, consistent bat. You can see the middle infield playing far away from second and almost at the grass. That one is up and in from Boss. The 1-0. Fouled away. First lefty in the order for the Rams. No score here, top of the first. Boss trying to go 1-2-3 with the top of the Rams orders. That one's also fouled back and into the suites here at Jackson Field. So a 1-2 count to Luke Red. Jacob Metzger, the pitcher, on deck. That one's high for ball 2. Outfielders shading to the push side for Luke Red. Here's the 2-2. That's down and in, and the count runs full. You don't always see that in high school. A guy with such a big bat, such a consistent bat, also knows when to take his pitches. The payoff. That one's fouled away. Seventh pitch of the at-bat coming up. Good early battle here between Michael Boss and Luke Red. Once again, the 3-2. That one slapped down the middle, and it's going to get through for a base hit for Red. He will stay at first. And the Rams have their first runner of the game. A nice little seeing eye single to where the gap was. A big gap there at second. Second and short playing very far apart. Red just slaps one up the middle. And the Rams have one on for Jacob Metzger, the pitcher. Two away here, top of the first. First inning of the Capital City Showdown. check swing. Doesn't matter, it was in the zone, strike one. Here's the 0-1. Another check swing. This time it's outside, 1-1. Big stage for these kids, obviously playing in a professional stadium. They've almost certainly been here to watch a Lugnuts game. So on one hand, it's very special, but on the other hand, a little bit nerve-wracking. You got to kind of get comfortable with the new environment. Watch is outside, 2-1. So guys might swing at pitches they might otherwise not. The sight lines are different too. The outfield's deeper than what you're used to. It's a whole different thing here. Here's the 2-1. That's way outside, and Red's going to go as that one skips away from Costello, and there's no throw. We'll call that a wild pitch to send Red to second. Well blocked by Costello to prevent him from getting any further. And now it's 3-1 to Jacob Metzger. First two went down pretty easily for this Grand Ledge defense, and now they're going to issue the free pass. So the intentional walk to Jacob Metzger, they didn't want to pitch to him at 3-1 with a runner in scoring position. They like their chances better with the designated hitter Julian Edmond. Right-hander will step in, fifth in the order for Holt. Back-to-back base runners, and now the pinch runner coming in. I think that's Jonah Miner, who's going to check in. And again, how pinch runners work in high school, it's not a permanent substitution in the lineup. You can sub in pinch runners and leave guys in the order. Usually the pitcher. That one slapped up the middle. It's down for a base hit, and they're going to put the stop sign on for Red. Red wanted to come around and go home. But Julian Edmond liked the first pitch he saw, put it into center field, and the bases are juiced for Caden Zachin. Big early plate appearance here for the Holt Rams. First two went down, then back-to-back base runners. A single, a 3-1 intentional walk, and then a single from Edmond. Ball one outside to Zachin. Zachin way up towards the plate in the batter's box. That one catches the outside corner, 1-1. Here comes the 1-1. Swing and a miss at the top of the zone. Boss hasn't induced a lot of swing and miss. Here's the 1-2, trying to get out of the jam. That one's down and in, ball two. Costello has to block. Count even, two away. The base is loaded for Caden Zachin. The pitch. That's in there for strike three on the outside corner. And getting out of it is Michael Boss. Gave up a pair of hits and 3 base runners. But the only number that matters is the one on the scoreboard. That still is 0. We go to the bottom of the first, no score between the Holt Rams and the Grand Ledge Comets. Game 1 of the Capital City Showdown here at Jackson Field in downtown Lansing. So happy that you all could join us. Happy that we can be here. 48 hours ago, we didn't know we were doing this game. Then the opportunity presented itself, and couldn't be happier to be here. Our entire production crew, actually affiliated with the Lansing Lugnuts, so we're all quite accustomed to this stadium, all working on the production crew. A little bit different being up here calling the game, that's for sure. Jesse Goldberg-Strassler, of course, the eminent play-by-play voice of the Lansing Lugnuts, one of the greats, not just in this area, but in all of baseball. So very special for all of us to be here bringing this game to you on a chilly but sunny April day in mid-Michigan. On the hill for Grand Ledge will be, or on the hill for Holt rather, will be Jacob Metzger. He's a junior. Fastball in the high 80s. He's going to rely on that in the early innings, and then as the day goes on, he's going to transition a little more into his off-speed stuff. Curveball, changeup, slider. He wants to induce the ground ball. That's his game. Try to make it easier on that young defense behind him. Lineup for Grand Ledge, Braden McDaniels, Carson Marlin, and Tyler Terranova going to lead things off. Easton Benaski, Michael Boss, and Brett Baker, the middle of the order, rounded out by Cooper Parks, Ashton Costello, and Xavier West. The 9 defenders for Grand Ledge are the 9 hitters. The designated hitter is the pitcher, so when Boss exits the game, they will still be able to use that designated hitter slot a little more efficiently. That one's on the outside corner to Braden McDaniels for strike 1 looking. Metzger deals. And McDaniels watches ball 1 away. The 1-1 does not go and watches it down. 2-1 to McDaniels. Steady wind blowing left to right across the diamond. Ethan Parse tried to frame that one on the outside, but couldn't fool the umpire. 3-1 to McDaniels. Here's the 3-1. Swing and a miss. That's a big cut from McDaniels. Had the green light on the 3-1. Metzger threw it right by him. There's that fastball we mentioned. That's what he's going to rely on here this first time through the order. Full count to Braden McDaniels. Fouled back. Early battle here in the bottom of the first. Comets trying to get the leadoff man aboard. Carson Marlin waiting in the on-deck circle. The full count again. That one's high, and McDaniels is aboard. Great at bat from McDaniels. Fights off strike 3. And earns the 7-pitch walk. Now in steps the shortstop, Carson Marlin. They're going to throw back to first. Check on McDaniels. Defensively for the Rams, Jacob Metzger pitching to Ethan Parse. The outfield, Ethan Kaskadin, Bryson DeSmith, and Luke Redd. On the infield, Caden Zachin at third. Luis Martinez at short. Austin Vandiver is the defensive substitute at second base. Jackson Webster at first. Ball 1 to Marlin. The 1-0. High and away, ball 2. Got a sizable crowd here of Grand Legend Holt fans, filling the lower part of the 4 sections right behind home plate. Runner's going to go, swing and a miss. Might have fouled it back, and no, he's going to keep running past second. So it was a swing and a miss off the glove of the catcher. The base was stolen by McDaniels. Looked from up here for a second like Marlin got a piece of it. But instead, just a regular swing and miss. That'll make the count 2-1, and McDaniels in safely to second. He rounded second smartly, waiting to see if Parse could make the throw or if there would be a mistake on the throw. But ends up staying there, and Metzger will step off. A lot of dancing on that middle infield there between Martinez and Vandiver. Both of them showing coverage of second base as Parse comes out to have a little chat with Metzger. Man on second, nobody out, bottom of the first. 2-1 count to Carson Marlin in a scoreless game. Metzger looks back, then deals. Swing and a miss. And that evens the count. Both middle infielders playing close to the bag at second. That's going to open things up in either of those infield gaps potentially. Swing and a miss for Marlin. Down on strikes, and that's a big first out for Jacob Metzger and the Holt Rams defense. So in steps Tyler Terranova, left fielder wearing number 21, right-hander. Watches strike one on the inside part of the plate. The 0-1. Catches the outside corner, 0-2 to Terranova. And if you can see in the middle infield there, second base is now starting to play more in a traditional position. That's Vandiver. Martinez is the one now covering the bag. Trying to dance around, just trying to keep him close. Swing and a miss, strike 3, back-to-back Ks for Jacob Metzger. And that's 2 down for the Comets. In steps Easton Banaski. First baseman batting from the right side of the plate. McDaniel's taking a much bigger lead off of second than he was in the previous at-bat, as that one's away. Obviously 2 outs, he's going to go on contact. And if this ball touches the grass, he's almost certainly going to come around to score. Martinez doing everything in his power to try to sell that play to second. That one hit high in the air. DeSmith camps out under it. Makes the play.
To the right.
And that will end the first inning. An entertaining first inning. Both teams had runners in scoring position. Neither of them could cash in. No hits. No runs, no errors, 1 left on for the the Comets as we go to the top of the second. Webster, DeSmith, and Cascadin, the bottom of the order, due up for the Holt Rams. Want to quickly shout out today's sponsor, Capital City Sweets. Welcome to Lansing Sweet Spot. Opened in 2025 and scooping smiles ever since at Capital City Sweets. Find their ready-to-eat cookie dough and hand-dipped super premium ice cream, all made from scratch and served with care. Check them out downtown Lansing. Sweet Spot is Capital City Sweets. Delicious desserts worth every bite. I want to thank them for making this broadcast possible, giving us the opportunity to bring this one to you live and for free on openendedmedia.com. And of course, the archive will be up on our YouTube page as well, so you'll be able to go back and watch this one once it's all said and done. About to start the second inning here at Jackson Field. No score for either team, even though they both presented runners in scoring position. In steps Jackson Webster, first baseman, 7th in the order, 7, 8, 9 due up for the Rams. First pitch, in the air, down the first base line, in foul territory, and it will hit the dirt in the bullpen. 0-1 to Webster. As an outfielder, so interesting trying to get the dimensions of a place like this when you're used to playing on high school fields. Everything feels so much bigger. This isn't a particularly big minor league stadium. That one's in there for strike two. But everything feels a little bit bigger when you're kind of in the bowl, surrounded by 12,000 seats. The 0-2. Right down the middle. Couldn't make the play at second, and he's going to be in there with a base hit. Tough play for Braden McDaniels, having to run away from the bag and trying to backhand glove that with the left. That's a tough play. They'll score that as a hit. Third hit of the ball game for the Rams. And in steps Bryson DeSmith, another right-hander. Not a lot of lefties in this Rams order. DeSmith shows bunt for a second. Now he's going to try to put it down. Pops it down the line, and it will hop foul. Maybe reached for that bunt a little bit. It was way up above the zone. Tried to raise the bat to it. Ended up putting it up in the air a little more than he wanted. So we'll see how the Grand Ledge defense responds. Got Parks playing in more over there at third base, but rest of the infield staying put. DeSmith going to swing at this one. Jammed him. Foul territory. And just not enough airtime for Costello to get to it. But it will be 0-2. And now with the count at 0-2, the bunt almost certainly off for DeSmith. Well, we're starting to see more teams comfortable with the 0-2 bunt. The risk obviously being that an 0-2 bunted foul is strike three. That's why so many teams tend to take it off at 0-2. But as teams and players get better at bunting, they're starting to bring that back a little bit at the major league level. The 0-2, instead, they're going to throw over to first. Check on Webster. And it looks like Michael Boss's manager is coming out to have a chat with him. 0-2 count to Bryson DeSmith. Runner on is Jackson Webster. Reached on an 0-2 single. And I think the coach is basically trying to tell him, hey, don't worry about that runner over there on first. Get the guy in front of you. That seemed to be what that was about. The 0-2 to DeSmith. That is high, 1-2. Hearing a lot of chatter from the Holt dugout, not as much from Grand Ledge. Their dugout much more quiet. The Holt guys, very animated. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Second strikeout of the game for Michael Boss. First out of the second inning, and here comes the 9-hitter, Ethan Kaskadin. Lefty playing in left. Only 2 lefties in the Rams lineup today. Batting at 3 and 9 in the order. Tries to set down the bunt and fouls it back. And this is what Kaiser was talking about before the game. Bottom of the order, going to try to get guys around. Try to move them once they're on. Let the top of the order handle doing the majority of the damage. The 0-1. Watches ball one high. Does not try to bunt. It almost seems like that's back-to-back batters now where the Rams have shown the bunt on the first pitch and then pulled it off on the 0-1. Might be something to keep an eye on as we work our way through this doubleheader today. Showing bunt again. That one's bunted back foul. It's almost a pitch-by-pitch basis as to whether or not these guys are showing bunt. Not going up with specific marching orders. Hey, this at bat, your goal is to set down the bunt. Now here's the 1-2 with Webster still on first. The pitch. That's way inside. Just barely missed Kaskadin. 2-2. If you're the 9-hitter in any lineup at any level, your job is very simple. It's either get on or get someone over. Doesn't matter how you do it. Here's a 2-2 count to Kaskadin. Way inside. Ball 3 gets away. Runner goes. Webster's in safely. And Costello, not like him. Letting that one skip away from him on the inside like that. And that'll send Webster to second, and a full count now on Kaskadin. Big pitch coming up with Luis Martinez waiting in the on-deck circle, top of the order. The 3-2. That's away, and Kaskadin's aboard. What a great at-bat from Ethan Kaskadin. That's exactly what you want from your 9-hitter. And now here comes Luis Martinez with 2 on and an opportunity to do some real damage. Popped out to second back in the first. Got Webster on second, Kaskadin on first. Showing bunt, pulls it off. Ball 1 to Martinez. Making Easton Banaski's job over there on first very difficult. Showing bunt again. Bunts it back foul, 1-1. So Banaski, his responsibility, obviously, he's got to do something to keep the runner over there on first. But if they bunt down his side, he's going to have to charge and make a play on the ball. So you're already seeing, like, on that pitch there, was Austin Vandiver running over to first to cover the bag. Basic defensive rotation, but at the high school level, these games are won and lost based on doing the little things right. 1-1. That one's high, 2-1. Ethan Parse in the on-deck circle. 2 on, 1 away, top of the second, no score. Here at the Capital City Showdown. The pitch. That's high, ball 3. Boss let Cascadden get away from him to put the second runner on. Now looking at a 3-1 count, and he's put on another. Luis Martinez, his patience is rewarded, and the bases are loaded for Ethan Parse. Corners are in because the play is at home on a ground ball. The first pitch comes right down the middle. Watches the off speed for strike 1. Sun's starting to set behind third base. They're going to throw over to third. Webster is back in pretty easily. Just trying to keep him close. 0-1 count to Parse. With the bases loaded. Up in the air. Back behind the plate and into the stands. It'll take a hop. 0-2 count. What a strikeout this would be for Michael Boss. The 0-2. Got him swinging with the inside fastball. A massive out for the Grand Ledge defense. The ball in play no longer guarantees a run. But of course, here comes Luke Red, one of the best hitters in the entire region. A single back in the first, with runners on every base. Huge early at bat. First pitch. Watches ball 1 high. Boss would love nothing more than to induce a pop out. Trying to get out of back-to-back jams in these first 2 innings. Fouled back. 1-1. The Rams left the bases loaded back in the first, trying not to do the same thing twice. Here's the 1-1. That's high, 2-1. Pitch count rising. This will be pitch number 48 for Boss. The 2-1. That's down for ball 3, and now you're going to have to put something in the zone. Either that or give him something he can't resist. You would hate to walk in the go-ahead run here. The 3-1. Swung on in the air, down the line, and out of play. Full count, 2 outs. Runners will be in motion. A gapper clears the bases. A swing and miss ends the inning. The payoff. Swung on down the third base line. It's through the third baseman. 1 run will score. It's in the left. They're waving around the second, and he will score. Throw to third. He's safe. Webster comes in. Cascadden comes in. And Luke Redd with a 2-out double. Has put the Rams in front. Tough play for Parks on a hot rip down the line. Best chance there is just to try to stop it. Got the glove down, but couldn't stop the ball. And it rolls into left field, and now they're going to intentionally walk Metzger for the second time. Gotta imagine in part that's going to be to put the force on at every base. Julian Edmond singled back in the first. So bases loaded for the Rams. Now Boss going to step off. Rams dugout having a good time with it. Trying to get in Michael Boss's head. The Rams have opened up an advantage, now trying to blow open a bigger one. That one's in there for strike 1 on the outside part of the plate. They have passed on pitching to Metzger twice now in favor of Julian Edmond. Made him pay for it once. Here's the 0-1. And he fouls that one down the first base line into the bullpen. 0-2 count to Edmond. Bases loaded, 0-2 to Edmond. Swung on, grounded foul. Umpire having a quick word with the third base coach. Edmond is trying to find a hole and keep the line moving. Rams up 2-0 here in the top of the second. The 0-2. That's right down the middle for strike 3. And the inning is over. But the Rams, they pay out the bases loaded situation this time with a 2-run RBI double by Luke Redd.
Can you straighten that one out? Like straighten that webcam right there? Yeah, like straight. Let's see.
We'll go to the bottom of the second. We're going to take a quick break and come right back. 2-0 here at the Capital City Showdown. We are back in here at Jackson Field in downtown Lansing. 2-0 Holt, bottom of the second. Grand Ledge with a chance to respond. Michael Boss, the pitcher, get his first at bat of the game. First pitch outside for ball 1. Brett Baker, Cooper Parks also due up this inning. 5, 6, 7 in the comments order. One out. That's way outside, ball 2. Temperature hanging out in the mid-40s, and that might affect Jacob Metzger. Trying to stay loose, trying to stay warm. Had an extended break as his team started to pile up the hits, and now a time called there by Boss. Pretty solid first inning from Metzger. Gave up the opening walk and then a pair of strikeouts and then induced the flyout to end the inning. That one's down and away, ball 3. So 3-0 count to Boss. The pitch. That is outside, and a 4-pitch walk from one pitcher to the other. Yeah, Metzger spent a good 15 minutes just kind of hanging out in the dugout waiting for his turn to bat. He goes up there, gets intentionally walked, is just standing on first for the final at-bat of the inning. So one of the unique challenges of being a high school pitcher and being usually one of your team's better athletes, one of your players better hitter, one of your team's better hitters. That one is outside, ball 1 to Brett Baker. 5 straight balls to open the second inning for Metzger. So one of those challenges, you got to find a way to stay loose and stay warm and ready to pitch. Here's the 1-0. That's high, ball 2. Metzger doesn't have his control here in the second. If you hear the comments, you're just going to wait until he throws a strike before you swing at anything. Boss at first, Baker at the dish, 2-0 count. Swing and a miss. That one was in the zone. Strike 1. Baker saw that one headed right down the middle. But he couldn't catch up to the fastball, 2-1. Throw back over to first. Just keep Boss close. Here's the 2-1 showing bunt, sets it down right back to the mound. They're going to look at second and then throw to first for the easy out. That's an intelligent play by Metzger. There's always the temptation. You want to get the lead runner. Everything in you says get the lead runner. But he knew that play was going to be close. And says, you know what? We're going to take the sure out. We're going into the bottom third of the order. We're going to take the out we know is there and bank on getting 2 of these next 3 guys out. In steps Cooper Parks, third baseman. Right-handed batter. First pitch, hit in the air deep to left. Coming up to it, Cascadden makes the grab. 2 away. You're not going to see a whole lot of balls hit deeper than that today. With the wind doing what it's doing, ball just going to hang up there. And these outfielders are playing, reasonably deep. They want to come up to the ball as opposed to having to get on their horse and chase after it. That's the second out of the inning, and now in comes Ashton Costello. Strike one. Once again, that song and dance back over there at second base. That one's high for ball one. Martinez. Just trying to keep Michael Boss close. Boss running for himself. You will oftentimes see pitchers not run for themselves. We saw that in the first with Metzger. Just bouncing back and forth out there. Just left of second base is Martinez. That one's fouled back by Costello. So 1-2 count to Costello. Runner on second, 2 away. Metzger deals. High, ball 2. Two straight innings that Metzger has let the leadoff man aboard and secured the next 2 outs, trying to do the third out to close out the second. That one's down and a full count to Costello. Pitch. Swing and a miss. Costello down on strikes, and that will end the second frame. Grand Ledge cannot pay out the leadoff walk. And we'll go to the top of the third. 2-0 Holt. We'll take a quick break and come right back. You're watching the Capital City Showdown on OEM TV. Top of the third. Jachin, Webster, DeSmith due up for the Rams, leading 2-0 in game one of this doubleheader. That one is down for ball one. 55 pitches now for Michael Boss. That one's in for strike one. So we might see that Grand Ledge bullpen a little earlier than the Comets would have wanted. A swinging strike for Zachin that time. 1-2. Boss trying to move quickly. Deals. Swing and a miss, but it's going to get away. He's going to run down to first. And he will beat the throw. It's out of the glove. So Zachin strikes out swinging, reaches first on a pass third strike. If you're the comments, you got to be thinking, come on. Something little like that. In a game where you've struggled to get outs in the first 2 innings. Long at bats. Showing bunt. Sets it down the third base line. It's out of the glove. They're going to throw to first. And they're just going to get him. Jackson Webster. Then the throw to second. It gets away into left field. Zachin going to third. And he's safe at third. And Webster is on second. Yeah, Webster's on second. I thought he was out at first, and I think that might be what the complaint is from one of the Grand Ledge coaches out to talk to the umpire.
Hey, can you get the coach in right now?
Maybe they're saying there was interference. Maybe they're saying the ball wasn't, or his foot wasn't on the bag. Couldn't tell from up here. It looked like he was out from where we were sitting. But Webster currently sitting on second base. What was intended as a sacrifice bunt on the left side of the infield. The throw by Parks was on line. Looked like Banaski made the play at first. And he is safe at second. They had a conversation about it, the 2 umpires did. And again, not sure why he wasn't out at first. But when they threw down to second, because Zachin was off the bag, rounding the bag after the sacrifice bunt, that throw went into left field. Both runners took another free bag. So, not entirely sure how you're going to score that. If they missed the play at first, it would be back-to-back errors on the Comets' defense. And errors aren't tallied in high school baseball in Michigan, but it wouldn't go down as a hit for that reason. And now here comes Bryson DeSmith. Watches strike one on the outside part of the plate. So we got runners on second and third, no outs in the top of the third. With Bryson DeSmith looking at an 0-1 count. Hopefully we're all up to speed now, as that one's down 1-1. High school baseball is a different animal from, if you're used to watching major or minor league or even college baseball. These are kids, and sometimes routine plays aren't quite so routine. The 1-0. Right down the middle with the off-speed, 1-2. Smith went down on strikes back in the second. Looking to avoid the same fate here in the third. 2 runners in scoring position for him. Ethan Cascadden, the 9-hitter, in the on-deck circle. The 1-2. Swing and a miss! Down on strikes for the second straight time. Second strikeout of the inning for the Comets, but only 1 out on the board. Here comes Cascadden. He is showing bunt all the way here. We'll see if he pulls it off. The entire infield standing on the edge of the grass. Cascadden does pull it off now, and he will swing through it. Pops it down the left field line and out of play. The Rams a bit unpredictable in their use of the bunt. Makes life difficult as an infielder. Once again, they're all in. If he can put one on the grass, 2 runs will score. The 0-1. Cascadden shows bunt, pulls it off, 1-1. Rams have had runners in scoring position this entire game. Every inning, they've had multiple runners in scoring position. Second inning, they cashed in a couple. Here's the 1-1. Cascadden showing bunt, and bunts it foul. This will be the 67th pitch for Michael Boss. They've got some activity down there in that bullpen. The pitch. Away. 2-2. AJ Parsegian is down there in the bullpen throwing with another Comet. Can't tell that Comet's number. It looks like Parsegian's the one warming up. The 2-2. Down the middle. That's going to score 2. Cascadden's into first. They're going to send around Webster. It's 4-0 Rams. A perfect 2 RBI single for Ethan Cascadden, and you could not ask for a better game out of your 9-hitter. He has worked long at bats. He's been efficient, and he's gotten aboard. And the Rams have doubled their lead. It looks like it is AJ Parsegian getting warm in that bullpen. You wonder how long of a leash they're going to give Michael Boss here as the pitch count climbs and the struggles continue here as we approach the hour mark. First pitch to the top of the order, Luis Martinez. That one's away. Popped out in the first, walked in the second. Rams fans have got to be thrilled with the offense they're seeing today. Rams hitters doing a great job just moving the line. Runner going. The throw down to second. Not in time, and Cascadden is safe. His excellent offensive day continues. And it also takes off the force for Martinez. Double play is no longer in play. And now it looks like they might be taking the ball from Michael Boss. You are more likely to see this in the middle of an at-bat in a high school game as well. You don't usually see a mid-plate appearance pitching change at other levels of baseball. Not sure if they're actually making the swap or not. So I don't know if this is just to give Parsegian more time to warm up. It appears that is what it is. His boss is still on the hill. But I imagine this will be his last batter. Rams will be thrilled to chase out the starter in the third, assuming that is what's about to happen. Third time through the order as well. Top of the order has done okay for the Rams, but it really has been the bottom of the order that's done a lot of the damage. Here's the 1-1 to Martinez. And now they're coming out to have another chat with Boss. And now it looks like they will make the change. Don't entirely know what all that was about. Don't know if I've ever seen back-to-back mound visits without a pitch in between. But Boss is going to exit this game after 2 1/3. Five hits, 4 earned runs, and responsible for the runner on second. Well, we'll call it 4 runs. Again, we don't really have errors assigned to players in high school baseball, so if you want to get technical. Webster reached on an error, and Zachin then reached third on an error, so at most you would give Boss 3 earned runs with responsibility for the runner on second. But in any case, it will be AJ Parsegian who will check in on a 1-1 count to Luis Martinez. So he will inherit this at-bat. And I'm trying to remember, this doesn't happen very often, but I'm trying to remember, if you come into the middle of an at-bat and there's only one strike on the batter, I believe whatever happens in the at-bat is credited to the pitcher that comes in. If there were 2 strikes, then I believe the exiting pitcher would be the one credited for stats purposes. Again, that's all academic. Only a handful of people actually care about that sort of thing. Unfortunately for all of you, I'm one of those people. 1-1 count, 1 away as Parsegian gets settled in, inheriting a 4-0 deficit. And Luis Martinez with a runner on second trying to cash him in. Martinez showing bunt, pulls it off, swings through and misses. So 1-2. It was exactly 70 pitches for Michael Boss, for what it's worth. And that is one of those thresholds for availability. So that also might have had something to do with it. Martinez watches inside, 2-2. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Parsegian comes in, inherits the at-bat, and takes care of the K. So now 2 away in the top of the third. In steps Ethan Parse. Ground out, strikeout. The first pitch he sees, he flies it to left, and Terranova barely has to move, and the side is retired. Pretty efficient work from A.J. Parsegian. Comes in, throws 4 pitches, gets 2 outs. And that will take us to the bottom of the third. We'll step away for just a moment. 2-0 Rams. You're watching the Capital City Showdown. 4-0 Rams, excuse me. You're watching the Capital City Showdown live on OEM TV. Bottom of the third, Grand Ledge trailing 4-0. They're going to count on their 9-hitter to get things started. Xavier West, the center fielder. Been waiting for his chance at the dish. Comets made the switch away from Michael Boss. So right now, AJ Parsegian is in that designated hitter slot, 5th in the order, because pitcher and designated hitter were the same guy at the start of this game. So we'll see what they do with that spot in the lineup, see if it's going to be Parsegian hitting for himself or somebody else. First pitch to Xavier West is swung on and fouled off the glove for strike 1. And they're expecting that West might try to bunt for a hit. Zachin is way in. Yes, it is Zachin way in there on third base. Good 6 feet onto the grass. Now backing up more towards the dirt. The pitch, swung on, check swing, fouls it straight back. 0-2 to Xavier West. The 0-2. That's inside, ball 1. The 1-2. That's down. As much as Parse wants that call, he's not going to get it. 2-2. We talked to Patrick Hazer before the game. He was talking up Parse's abilities as a catcher. So he's one of the best catchers in the area. 2-2. Fouled away. So West keeping the at-bat alive. Braden McDaniels waiting on deck. Here's the 2-2. Fouled away again. That one hits the top of the roof and over. Temperature going to drop as the evening progresses here at Jackson Field. The sun's still out. It's a gorgeous evening. Temperatures will reach about 40 degrees by the time we've wrapped up here. That one down the left or right field line and fouled. Just fouled by about 3 feet. Xavier West giving Jacob Metzger everything he can handle in this plate appearance. This will be the 8th pitch of the battle. Here's the 2-2. Watches down. Full count. Good at bat here from Xavier West, regardless of the outcome. Like we talked about with Cascadden over there on the Holt side, this is what you want to see your 9-hitter do. Draw out these at-bats, get the pitch count high, give themselves a chance. That one right down the middle, strike 3, drop, but immediately putting the tag on is Parse. He saw what happened to Grand Ledge back in the top of the inning. He does not allow the same thing to happen to his team. A 9-pitch looking strikeout for Xavier West, and he is finally retired. Then comes Braden McDaniels, walked to start this game for Grand Ledge. That one's inside, 1-0. Metzger's been efficient so far, 32 pitches through the first 2 innings. This will be the 11th of the third. The 1-0. Swing and a miss. Swung at a high fastball, couldn't catch up to it. Carson Marlin on deck. Now second time through the order for Metzger. That one off the end of the bat and into the seats. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Metzger deals. Fouled straight back. Shadows starting to stretch as the sun dips behind the stands behind third base here at Jackson Field. The long wait for Metzger, now the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Metzger continues to deal. 5 strikeouts. Out of the first 10 batters for Jacob Metzger, 2 away here, top of the third. In steps Marlin, who struck out in the first. First pitch. Outside ball 1. The 1-0. That's down and away, 2-0. Metzger's done a really good job of not really giving these Grand Ledge batters much to hit. Been painting the corners. A lot of stuff on the edge of the zone. That's a strike. And then he comes back with that fastball and just blows it by him. It's so tough for these batters to stay with that fastball. The 2-1. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. We expected Metzger, and we still do, as the game wears on, as he gets deeper into this appearance, that he's going to switch more to the off-speed stuff. But that fastball has been live so far for him. Here's the 2-2. Fouled away. There's your off-speed. 77 on the gun, which is live today. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. It gets away from the catcher, though, running down to first, and he's going to be in safely. So strikeout number 6. But that ball bounced off of Parse and all the way to the backstop. So drop third strike. We'll see Marlin on first, despite Metzger getting to K number 6. And in steps Tyler Terranova, who will hope to make the Rams pay for the mistake. They're going to throw back to first just to keep Marlin there. The pitch. That's away, ball 1. Marlin not taking a very big lead off of first. That one's high. They're going to throw down to first anyway. Parse dedicated to keeping Marlin close. Rams up 4-0, 2 away, bottom of the third. First game of a doubleheader here at Jackson Field. The pitch. That's away, ball 3. '24th pitch of the inning coming up for Metzger. On only his 4th batter. Comets doing a much better job of keeping these at-bats going. Here's the 3-0. Ooh, strike one on the outside part of the plate. Terranova, I think he thought that was ball 4. Decided not to swing his bright pink bat at that outside pitch. Here's the 3-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. So Metzger's worked his way back into this at bat. Count is full now at 3-2. The payoff. Runner goes. It's outside. Ball 4. Six pitch walk to Tyler Terranova. Now out comes the bench, and Metzger. There's nobody warming up in the pen for the Rams, so imagine this is just a conversation. Although it's not uncommon to see a player who's currently in the field to take over on the mound, so it's also a possibility. A long conversation being had, and they're going to hand the ball back to Metzger, and looks like they're going to let him continue. He's been sharp today. Struck out 3 in this inning, but the dropped third strike resulted in a base runner. And he walked the ensuing runner. Now here comes Easton Banaski, who flew out to center field. The pitch. That one in the air to the gap in left center, chasing after it, and making the grab is Ethan Kaskadin. What a day he's having. Tracks that one down in the gap. That would have scored a run. Kaskadin shuts it down, and that will end the third. We'll take a quick break. Making the grab to the fourth. You're watching Ethan Capital City Showdown on OEM TV. What a day he's having. Tracks that one down in the gap. Top 4 here at Jackson Field. It's going to be Luke Redd leading things off for the Rams. 2 for 2 with a 2 RBI double back in the second. He's going to watch ball 1 high. Redd, Metzger, Edmond, 3, 4, 5 due up for the Rams as we get this 4th inning underway. Watch us strike 1 inside. pitch. That's away. Ball 1. Two and 1 count to Red. The pitch. That's catching the inside corner, 2-2. So even count for the lefty. The pitch. Way inside, full count. Third straight at bat where Red has worked a full count. The pitch. Swung on and fouled away. The payoff once again. That's away, and Red is aboard for the third time today. Jacob Metzger has been intentionally walked twice. First time on a 3-1 count. They basically just said screw it and didn't want him hitting with Luke Red standing on second base. In the second inning, basically the same thing. This one, a chopper to short, fielded by the third baseman. Throw to second is in time, but no play at first. And no, they're going to say he was safe.
Okay.
And then they got him before he came back to the bag. Initially, Luke Red was safe at second. But then he got caught off the bag. So Metzger, we're going to call that a base hit. And then Red just got caught off the bag. Immediately running to second is Metzger. The throw down to second, not in time. First pitch to Julian Edmond. One-0 count to Julian Edmond. So one away here, top of the fourth. Runner on second now as Edmond fouls that one away. 1-1 count. Yeah, Red took off for second on the infield play at short. The throw was in time, but the second baseman came off the bag. Red was safe at second, but then he came off the bag and was tagged out before he could return. Again, one of those things that you might see in high school baseball, not as crisp and clean, those routine plays. Not routine at this level. Usually it's the team that can make those plays consistently is the one that wins ball games. Here's a 2-1 count. Runner going to third. Swing and a miss. The throw to third. And Metzger is in. Back-to-back stolen bases. He's 90 feet away. Now it's 2-2 to Edmond. Base hit in the first. Looking strikeout in the second. The pitch. That's inside, 3-2. Here's the payoff. Outside, and Edmond is on first base. Caden Jachin. Struck out looking in the first. Reached on a dropped third strike back in the third. One away, runners at the corners. They're going to throw back to first. And this is where you have to be a little bit careful. And Grand Ledge, they think they got him at first, but umpire disagrees. This is where you got to be a little bit careful, Grand Ledge, defensively. If this ball gets away, the run will score. And you will oftentimes see teams send the runner at first here, try to force the throw to second, and give their guy on third more of a chance to get home. Swing and a miss. Runner is going to second, and they're not going to throw. And that's exactly why they're not going to throw. They're going to let him have second. Because they know that that throw to second is going to open things up for Metzger. He's going to have a lot more time than he normally would to try to score from that position. The 0-1 catches the outside corner. 0-2 to Jachin. Time called. Fourth inning in a row that the Rams have had multiple runners in scoring position. The pitch. That's high and away. And now they're going to throw home, and he's safe at home. Jachin saw something, decided to take off, or Metzger rather, saw something, decided to take off, and he takes home, scoring the 5th run of the game. Edmond is safe at third. One-two count to Jachin. Watches outside, ball 2. Can't look down for half a second in this game. The 2-2. Swung on. Gloved at third, and they're going to make the double play. Parks makes the grab, runs over to third, steps on the bag, and the inning is over. The line out to third. Unassisted double play. Edmond is out. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th. We'll take a quick break and come right back. You're watching the Capital City Showdown on openendedmedia.com. First pitch, strike 1 to Michael Boss, who is staying in as designated hitter in the 5 spot. The 0-1, strike 2 on the outside part of the plate. So because Boss was the pitcher and the designated hitter, even though he's been changed out of his pitcher role, he gets to stay in at designated hitter. So Boss will stay in. Here's the 0-2. Off the end of the bat and over the first baseman's head into right for a base hit. Apologies for the technical issues. We're having an issue with one of our cameras. So you might be stuck on this view for a brief moment in time as we try to get that sorted out. Five nothing Holt. Bottom of the fourth. Runner on first for the Comets. Leadoff man aboard. That one's sent down the third base line and out of play into the Pepsi porch.
That part usually takes a little bit.
So Brett Baker, sack bunt back in the second. Swings and misses 0-2. That single by Michael Boss. First hit of the ball game for the Grand Ledge offense. They've had some base runners, but no hits till that moment. 3 spotless innings for Metzger in the hits department. That one's in there for strike 3, and Baker can't believe it. Baker, incredulous, thought for sure that was down. Feels like the zone has been expanding a bit as this game has worn on. More outside stuff, more low stuff getting called. For strikes looking, it's going to force these hitters to protect a little bit more. That pitch way outside, ball 1 to Cooper Parks, who was out on a fly ball to left back in the second. The pitch, swing and a miss. One to Parks. With Boss on first.
Let it just charge the battery in there.
Pitch. Fouled away and into the seats. As some kids go to chase down a souvenir. Unfortunately for them, I'm pretty sure that they're asking them to return any foul balls. Here's the 1-2 to Cooper Parks. Fouled straight back. One ball, 2 strikes to Parks. Michael Boss on first with a base hit to lead off the inning. Brett Baker struck out looking. Comets trying to get something going offensively. Trailing by 5 here in the bottom of the fourth. Off the end of the bat into right. Coming up to it is Red, and he makes the diving grab. That ball could not drop fast enough for Cooper Parks. And Luke Red, running up, makes the play, going to the ground to put away the second out. The 1-2. That one's high. They're going to throw down to first. Ashton Costello at the plate for the second time, struck out back in the second. Two count. That one's high, or excuse me, 1-0 count. 2-0 now to Costello. Scoreboard's all out of whack. But it is a 2-0 count to Costello. The pitch. That one's away, ball 3. Umpire confirming that is the count. Michael Boss has been standing on first for the past 2.5 at-bats, as Metzger tries to close out the fourth. That one's high, and Costello is aboard. Third walk of the game for Metzger. First walk of the game was to Boss. It was a 4-pitch walk back in the second. Boss was stranded at second. Now he's on second for the second time today. With Xavier West, who struck out looking back in the third, getting his second chance. '65th pitch for 65th pitch for Metzger against Xavier West, and he fouls that one off of his cleat, strike 1. West put up a good battle back in the third. Went down on the 9th pitch of the at-bat. With 2 outs, if he can put a ball in play, maybe create an opportunity for Michael Boss to try to come around and score. The 0-1. In the air to left. Tracking back to it is Cascadden, and he makes the play. The Comets get their first hit, but they do not plate their first run. Rams lead at 5-0 going to the top of the 5th. We'll take a quick break and come right back. Capital City Showdown on OEM TV. Top of the 5th, Holt Rams leading 5-0, looking to add to it. 7, 8, 9 due up. Jackson Webster to lead things off. Swings at the first pitch he sees. Strike 1. Had a base hit in the second, came around to score. reached on error in the third, came around to score. So he's had a pretty good day with the bat. And on the base paths, watches that one inside, ball one. Bryson DeSmith and Ethan Cascadden due up for the Rams. That one hit softly into the hole at short. Deep throw and a great throw, but it's out of the glove. And Webster is safe. That's going to be an error. A great throw by Carson Marlin from short. Dug it out. One hopped it into Manaski, and he just couldn't hold it. And again, it's those routine plays, right? Routine in air quotes. Oftentimes the difference between winning and losing. When you're down by 5, they sting a little bit more. Bryson DeSmith showing bunt. Bunt's foul. Tried to set up the bunt before in this game. He struck out twice. Ethan Cascadden, who has maybe had one of the best days out of anybody here, offensively and defensively, standing on deck. The 0-1-2 to Smith said they're going to throw back to first. Still working on getting all of our cameras back to where they're supposed to be, so if there are any jumps between cuts, we apologize for that. Going to call everything that we can so that you know exactly what's going on. Here's the 0-1, runner going. That one fouled back. He'll have to go back. So Webster returns to first. 0-2 count to Bryson DeSmith. Nobody out, top of the fifth. 5-0 Rams. We've had about as good of a day across the board as they could have asked for. A great start so far from Jacob Metzger. The bats have been live, and they've cashed in a lot of those runners. Every inning but the first, they've scored. That one outside, 1-2. Bringing in guys when you're bringing in guys who are in scoring position, obviously so important, and it's been the bottom of the order that's done it too. They're going to throw back to first. They've got him in a rundown. And they're going to get him. Webster got a little bit aggressive. Heads up play by Parsegian. Saw what was going on, threw to first. And a well-executed pickle drill by the Grand Ledge defense. Still a 1-2 count to Bryson DeSmith. Swing and a miss. That's 2 down. Tough day at the plate for DeSmith so far. 0 for 3. Down on strikes all 3 times. Here comes Ethan Cascadden. Doesn't have anybody on for the first time. Walked back in the second, came around to score. 2 RBI single in the third. Also has a stolen base. And a great defensive play in left. On a ball that would have plated a runner at least for Grand Ledge, but was able to reach out and make the tough play to keep that 0 on the board. 2 balls to open the at-bat. Luis Martinez, top of the order, due up after. On a ball that would have plated a runner at least for Grand Ledge, but the pitch, right down the middle, strike 1. Keep that 0 on the board. 2 balls to open the at-bat. That one goes for ball 3. lefty deals. That's away, and Cascadin is on once again. 3 plate appearances, 3 times he's reached first base. And if that's what you're getting out of your 9-hitter, makes the day a lot easier for the top of the order. Here's Luis Martinez, 0 for 2 with a walk. First pitch, watches strike 1 down the middle. Martinez angles his wrists so that the bat is dropping behind his right shoulder. It's at a very deep angle behind his shoulder until he actually prepares to swing. That one's down. Cascadin trying to steal another bag, and he's going to steal another bag. So Cascadin in scoring position. The 1-1. That's away from Martinez, 2-1. Parsegian going to step off. It was Martinez who called for time. Here's the pitch. Swung on, hit right to short, the throw to first, and they got him this time. No one scores for Holt in the 5th. We go to the bottom of the inning. Rams still up 5-0.
What?
If this battery does what it's supposed to do, is everything in working order?
Yeah.
Okay. You got time. Don't worry about it.
That shot on second looked better. Yeah.
Did it look bad before?
No. It was a little out of place. There was too much headroom. All right, we got a full battery.
An Indiana head coach meeting yet? Close to the Yes, again, their rate is going to be 66 and this is Caleb broadcast. Appreciate it, man. It doesn't happen if you're not here. I appreciate it.
Bottom of the 5th, top of the order for Grand Ledge. And I've been told that all of our cameras are back in working order, so we should be back and up and running. You should be getting all the angles that we want to give you, as that one's fouled back just under the sweet level here at Jackson Field. Braden McDaniels, a walk and a strikeout so far, leading things off with Marlin and Terranova due up after him. Here's the 0-1. Down and away, 1-1. Grand Ledge trying to get something going, and they're hoping that the top of the order will provide the spark, as Metzger continues to deal here into the 5th inning. A great start that he has had. He's given up just the 1 hit, no runs. Handful of walks. But also half a dozen strikeouts. That one is down 3-1 to McDaniels. And obviously, you know, every inning that you can get out of your starter is a reliever that you don't need to use. Check swing, doesn't matter, it's in the zone. Full count to McDaniels. But it has been basically perfect if you're a Holt Rams fan today. A team you really want to beat, especially with a 4-6 start, a young team. That one's way outside, and I don't know why he's running to first. There's no need. It's ball 4, but McDaniels aboard for the 2nd time tonight. So here comes Carson Marlin. 2 strikeouts, but reached on a drop 3rd strike back in the 3rd. No activity in the Rams' pen just yet. That one fouled away. That's the 83rd pitch of the game for Metzger. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. Foul tick, I suppose, back into the glove. (0-2) to Marlin. Terranova on deck. McDaniels on first. Pitch. Way inside, 1-2. Marlin diving out of the way. We've not seen a batter hit yet today. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Marlin down on strikes for the 3rd time. 1 away for Metzger in the top of the 5th. Bottom of the 5th. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Tyler Terranova. Strikeout and a walk. He's only taken 1 swing in his first 2 plate appearances. Correction, 2 swings. One was the strikeout in the first. Late time called by Terranova. The pitch outside. They're going to throw down to first, and McDaniels back in pretty easily. 1-0 count to Terranova. Pitch. That's down, ball 2. The 2-0. Checks, but catches the bottom of the zone regardless. 2 balls, 1 strike to Terranova. 1 away. Bottom 5 with McDaniels on first. The leadoff walk. The pitch. Fouled back. 2-2. Reminder, Game 2 coming up next. Lights will be on, so we will be able to play both games here at Jackson Field tonight. The 2-2. Lays off strike 3 at the top of the zone. A looking strikeout for Terranova. Looks like the Comets have somebody warming up in the bullpen. Still nobody yet for the Rams, though. Metzger continues to deal. Nine Ks for Metzger. First pitch is in for strike 1 on Banaski. Pair of flyouts back in the first and third. Early swings, too. Is only the 5th pitch he's faced. Watches inside, gets away, and McDaniels is on to second. Call it a wild pitch. That one way inside of Parse, who's done a good job keeping everything in front of him. Not that Metzger's made it that difficult for him. Now a runner in scoring position for Banaski, the 1-1. That one high, 1-1. With a right-handed Banaski aboard, or at the dish rather, Austin Vandiver, second baseman, he's the one who's covering second. Swing and a miss for Banaski. We've been seeing when lefties are up. It's been Martinez, the shortstop, who's been covering second more. So kind of player by player. Holt doing what they have to do to keep these runners at second close to the bag. A lot more activity on their infield defensively than Grand Ledge in that effort. That one's way outside. We got a full count on Banaski. Runner will be in motion. Metzger, that one's fouled away. The benefit for Banaski is if he finds grass with this basically anywhere, McDaniel should come around to score. Comets still looking for that first run. The pitch. Swung on, and it will find grass, and a run will score into right center. Rounding first and headed for second is Banaski. He is there. McDaniels around, and the Comets are on the board. Just a good hit there from Banaski. Level swing path, sees it in. Doesn't hit the cover off the ball, just meets it flush and drives it to grass. That's an excellent hit from Banaski. And the Comets finally get to take that 0 off the scoreboard here in the bottom of the 5th. Here's Michael Boss, DHing now. That one's popped foul and into the netting. First run conceded by Metzger. Trying to get through the 5th. Still nobody up in the pen for the Rams. Only the second hit for the Comets in this game. Here's the 0-1. That one pings off of Boss's helmet. I think it caught him on the front of the helmet there, so that is our first hit by pitch. And that will put Boss aboard. Brett Baker, the 6th hitter, ready to step in. It looks like Boss is going to be DH'd for here in the 5th by Elliot Bauk. And now a meeting on the mound as Metzger is deep into this one. He's thrown, by my count, which is certainly not official, he's thrown 100 pitches. And it's been a great start for him. He has been excellent in this game. And he's not losing control. Despite the pitch count, he has not lost anything on that off speed. He's still finding corners, still hitting his spots. So they would love to see him close out this 5th inning and let the bullpen take it from here. That's ball 1 to Brett Baker. Sacrifice bunt back in the 2nd and a strikeout looking in the 4th. The 1-0. Swing and a miss, strike 1. The 1-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Cooper Parks in the on-deck circle, hoping he gets a shot. One-two coming up to Baker. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 10 for Jacob Metzger. What a performance he has had. 5 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, and a 5-1 lead going into the top of the 6th. We'll be right back with the Capital City Showdown on OEM TV. To the 6th we go. Ethan Parse, Luke Red, Jacob Metzger due up for the Holt Rams, leading 5-1. Trying to add any insurance they can for the bullpen. Trying to make sure Jacob Metzger gets his win, and what's been an excellent starting performance from him. That one is away for ball 1. Swing and a miss. Parse over 3, a ground out, a strikeout, and a flyout. That one rolled over to third base, and in and out of the glove. The throw across is not in time. So Parse is aboard on the E5. Cooper Parks unable to scoop it and get it across. And the leadoff man is aboard for the Rams. Here comes Luke Redd. 2 for 2 with a walk. Has not scored yet. Even though he's been on all 3 times he's been up. They're going to send the runner, Parse, on to second, and he is safe. Wasting no time. First pitch of the at-bat. Ball 1 to Luke Redd, and now he has a runner in scoring position. A game like this makes sense. Send the runner, take the chance. Give your best hitter an opportunity to plate that runner as he sends this one in to left center. It's going to get down. It's over the head. That run will come around. An RBI double for Luke Redd, his second. And Ethan Parse makes it 6-1. It's just a pretty gapper, especially in a field like this. There's so much room out there. The outfield's so deep. A lot of room for these outfielders to have to cover. And a pinch runner coming in. I think it's Gavin Alvarez who's going to come in and pinch run for Luke Redd. And that might mean that Luke Redd is going to be your reliever in the 6th. It's not a sure thing, but it's an indicator that that might be what's happening. We will find out. Runner on second now for Metzger, who is still in to bat for himself. So, I guess it's not impossible that we could see Metzger pitch again in the 6th, but he's over 100 pitches. It'd be very surprising to see that, I think. The 1-0. Fouled off the end of the bat. And into the stands. Metzger has been intentionally walked twice. Singled in the 4th. And I think he's been intentionally walked twice because Redd's been standing on second. This time, they're not going to do that. Here's the 1-1. Swung on and fouled. Fouled it off of himself. Ball ended up in the infield, but struck him first, so the ball's dead. That's a second strike on Metzger. So 1-2 count. Julian Edmond waiting on deck. He will bat this inning. That one hit in the air to right center. Into the gap. The play is made by the right fielder, Baker. Hung in the air just a little bit too long. And Metzger is out. Good contact. Just hung up there a little bit too long. Didn't have quite enough on it to get over the outfield the way that Luke Redd's hit did just a moment ago. So 1 away, here comes Julian Edmond with a runner on second. Edmond a base hit, a strikeout, and a walk. Grounds that one to the left side, scooped up by the second baseman. Throw on to Beneski is in time. That will advance the runner. So 4-3 sacrifice ground out on the first pitch from Edmond. Here comes Caden Jachin. Struck out twice, but advanced on a dropped third strike in the 3rd inning. Came around to score, and then lined into a double play to end the 4th. Great contact on that liner, too. Just hit right to Parks over there at 3rd. Here's the 1-0. That's in for strike 1. Once again, a reminder, we have game 2 coming up. whenever this one ends, there will be a break. Probably not a long break, because this game is stretched a little bit. That one lined into left. It is foul. Just pulled it to the left of the line. If that had stayed fair, Zachin with his speed, he would have been thinking about 3. Instead, it's a 1-2 count. But as I was saying, Game 2 of the doubleheader will be under the lights here at Jackson Field. So we'll have a short break between games. I imagine that nothing should change about the broadcast, though. So if you want to take a break yourself, you can just come right back to the exact same page you're watching this one on, as that one is hit high in the air to right. Baker over to it, camping out, makes the play, ends the inning. Rams add 1. They lead by 5 going into the bottom of the 6th. We will indeed have a new pitcher for the Holt Rams. It's going to be Luke Redd, as we suspected. The lefty. Ball 1 inside to Jackson Webster to get us started. And it's going to be Metzger heading back out to right where Redd was. So a 1-for-1 change in the defense for Holt. As the bottom of the order tries to get something going for the Comets here. Hit sharply to short, throw across, they got him. Martinez to Webster on the 6-3 ground out. And that will take care of Webster. Bryson to Smith. 3 plate appearances, 3 swinging strikeouts, all on 4 pitches. Just hasn't gotten around to one yet. Just hasn't made that strong contact that he's been trying to make. That one swings and misses. Some off-speed action. That one dropping. And it's an 0-1 count for DeSmith. Redd moving quickly. Ball 1 just outside. The pitch. Foul back. 1-2. Redd will step off. The 1-2. That's way inside, 2-2. tick back into the glove for strike 3 on Ashton Costello. And in steps Xavier West. Ball 1 to West to lead things off. That one high for ball 2. That one in there for strike 1. Two one. Fouled straight back. So Cooper Park's out on the ground out. Ashton Costello with the strikeout. Here comes Xavier West to try to salvage the inning here for the Comets, who are running out of outs. The pitch. Fouled back again. The pitch. That's way inside, and the count runs full. The 3-2. That one's high, and West is on with the base on balls. Top of the order, Braden McDaniels coming in for the Comets. Watch his ball 1 high. That one is down for ball 2. Parse jumps up, but West was not in motion. Grand Ledge looking for a 2-out rally from the top of the order here. Try to get back within striking distance, trailing 6-1 in game 1 of our doubleheader here at Jackson Field. The pitch. That's in there for strike 1 looking. The 2-1. In the air to right. Metzger over to it. It hits fair. Rounding first and all the way to second goes McDaniels as West stops at third. I don't know if Metzger thought it was going foul, just didn't see it. Looked like he slowed up. Not that he could have reached it anyway. It was perfectly placed down the line. But now all of a sudden, here comes Carson Marlin. Maybe with an opportunity. Three strikeouts so far. Reached on a drop third strike back in the third. Facing the lefty, Luke Red. That one hits him. Excuse me, no it did not. From our angle, it looked like it hit him. It hit the ground in front of him and bounced in. Parse able to cover it. So just ball 1. My mistake. The 1-0. Way outside, ball 2. The pitch. Hit right up the middle. That's going to plate at least one. He's getting the wave around at third. And he will score. West scores. McDaniel scores. It's 6-3. Carson Marlin cashes in a 2-out, 2 RBI single. And now the Comets are back in this game. In steps Tyler Terranova. Luke Red will step off. Retired the first 2 batters he saw. Cooper Parks on a ground out, Ashton Costello on a strikeout. But then a walk, a double, and a single. We've got 2 runners in, and running back is Marlin. Lead's been cut to 3. Now the tying run is in the on-deck circle. But with 2 outs, Terranova has to get aboard to bring Benaski up to the plate as the tying run. Here in the bottom of the 6th. That one's down. It's going to be ball 2 to Terranova. The pitch. In the air, high in the air to right. Metzger over to it, makes the play. So the inning ends. Grand Ledge trimming the deficit. They trail 6-3. We're about to enter the final inning. Webster to Smith, Cascadden due up for the Holt Rams. You're watching the Capital Diamond Classic live on OEM TV. Jackson Webster will lead things off in the 7th. For the Holt Rams, they lead 6-3, trying to put the finishing touches on this one. Give a little bit more insurance to Luke Red. First pitch from Parsegian is outside for ball 1. Parsegian came in the 3rd and has gone the distance since. That one's in for strike 1. In relief of Michael Boss, who did not have a great start, 70 pitches, gave up 5 runs. 4 runs, excuse me. That one is swung on, good off speed. And it's 1-2 to Webster. Webster has reached on an error twice, got a hit back in the 2nd. The 1-2. Softly fouled. Stays alive. Bryson DeSmith is not in the on-deck circle, though. That's Jaden Morgan, who is preparing to hit in the 8th spot. That one's high, 2-2 to Webster. So we got a late pinch hitter for the Rams. Wouldn't think of it as a defensive substitution, as DeSmith is a very good center fielder. That one hit right up the middle into the gap, and in and out of the glove at second, a base hit for Webster. Would have been a tough play regardless. And now Webster is aboard, and here comes Jaden Morgan. Batting from the right side, number 22. And a pinch runner for Webster. I believe that's going to be Jonah Minor once again, who pinch ran for Jacob Metzger back in the first, which again, that might be an indicator of what the 7th inning pitching situation looks like. It might be Webster coming in as closer for the Rams. First pitch is hit high in the air by Morgan to left. Camping out under it is Terra Nova. Makes the play, 1 away. So in steps Ethan Cascadden, who's just had an incredible game. Throwback to first. An outstanding defensive play in left that robbed the Comets of at least 1 run in a game that now that run might matter quite a bit in. He's been up 3 times, he's walked twice, and from his 9 spot, hit a 2 RBI single in the 3rd that opened up this lead for the Rams. Looking for 1 more good plate appearance here in the top of the 7th. Try to get the top of the order back up to do some damage. They're going to throw back once again. The 1-0, showing bunt, pulls it off. Runner going to second. The throw is in time. Then they got him. The throw from Costello a little bit off the bag. McDaniels had to grab and make a tough swing around to get him. The throw was definitely in time. Not an easy tag for McDaniels to make, but he makes the play. Now the bases are clear with a 1-1 count to Cascadden, who watches strike 2. Arsegian trying to get out of this and give his offense as good of a chance as possible. That one lined into right, and it's going to end up in the glove of Baker quite easily. And that is, in fact, the end of the 7th for the Rams. They get a hit, can't do anything with it. And now it's up to the defense. Rams leading 6-3. Due up for the Comets. Banaski, Boss, Baker. 4, 5, and 6. I want to once again thank our amazing sponsor, Capital City Suites, for making this broadcast possible. And remind you that Game 2 is coming up next. Usually about a 20-minute gap, 15-20-minute gap between games, as new pitchers get warmed up and new lineup cards get submitted. Shouldn't take us too long, though, and the lights, they haven't come on yet. But I anticipate that the lights will be on here at Jackson Field before too long. They're going to have to be if they want to play a second game, that's for sure. It does look like it's going to be Luke Red finishing this one out for the Rams. Pitched the 6th inning. Got off to a good start. With a ground out and a strikeout, then gave up a walk, a double, and a 2 RBI single. It got the Comets back within striking distance, at least a puncher's chance here. Now here comes Ethan Banaski. His RBI double back in the 5th was only the 2nd hit that Jacob Metzger gave up. And it was the first run of the game for the Comets. Pitch. Watches strike 1. The 0-1. Swung on and fouled away down the 3rd baseline. So no 2 count coming up to Banaski. Been a tough day for these Comets hitters. Only 2 hits against Metzger. Finally got something going. And they faced Luke Red in the 6th. That one on the outside corner for strike 3 looking. Now in comes Michael Boss. Comets down to their final 2 outs. The pitch. Does not get the call on that off-speed, trying to bring it back across the outside corner. Didn't have enough break on it to get the call. That one fouled straight back. 1-1. The 1-1. Outside, 2-1. The pitch. Catches the outside corner. That's the pitch he wanted just a moment ago. Starts outside, works its way back to the outside corner. And now it's 2-2. That one way outside. Full count to Michael Boss. With Brett Baker in the on-deck circle. The pitch. Check swing. He did go. They're going to throw down to first on the drop 3rd strike, and he's out. One more out for the Holt Rams. Looking for a big CAAC Blue rivalry win in Game 1 of this doubleheader. Looks like they've got a pinch hitter in for Brett Baker. It's going to be Schilling wearing number 3. Watches ball 1. Lefty versus righty, the 1-0. That one's down, ball 2. The 2-0. Catches the outside part of the plate, strike 1. Luke Red, 1 out away. Putting this thing to bed. The 2-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Comets down to their last strike. Cooper Parks in the on-deck circle, hoping to get a chance. The 2-2. Fouled away. The pitch. That's right down the middle. And the Holt Rams pick up a massive win in Game 1 of the Capital City Showdown. Big celebration in front of the dugout. And the Rams take care of business in Game 1, 6-3. Game 2 coming up next. Once again, going to anticipate about a 15 to 20 minute. And there it is. They just announced it over the loudspeaker. It'll be 15 minutes. So that is coming up next. And we will have it for you here on this page. So you don't even have to leave the page. It will be here for you in 15 minutes. So we'll be right back with Game 2. Holt, winners of Game 1, 6-3. The second leg of the doubleheader coming up next on OpenEndedMedia.com.